Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Moss Jackson. I'm doing a recap of my talk on this past Monday, Mondays with Moss. Here I am sitting on my stoop, a little uncomfortable, a little chilly. It's early in the morning, had my breakfast. Thought I would catch up with you guys, give you a recap on the talk called Managing Fear. Okay, it's one of the tools in the toolbox, my navigator's toolbox for living a great life. So it's all based upon a book I wrote a number of years ago called Navigating for Success. And I've been using it along with some new ideas I've been developing over the last number of years on how to live a great life, how to be successful, how to accomplish, how to feel satisfied. And the last couple of weeks I've been talking about both self-control, both of anger, which I did 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago I did the first talk on managing fear. And on this current Monday, I just did a second session on managing fear. So I want to give you a recap of that, because sometimes it's hard to remember everything that gets talked about. We do try to write down a little outline for you to use. But anyway, this week I talked about several ideas. One was to ask yourself, if you're feeling fear, after you diagnose it, what am I afraid of? What's the core fear? Is it a fear of loss of control, loss of relationship, not feeling very safe? To ask yourself, is it a fact or a story? Hansen, a psychologist, came up with the notion, hi John, good to see you, came up with the notion of we live in a state of orange. Human beings are in a state of orange. We're not green. Hopefully you don't spend too much time in red. However, I did do a post about a week ago of ranting. I just went on a rant about something political. And I got a number of responses back where people were in red. They were angry at what I had to say. So I really had to work really hard to stay focused, not get triggered, not go back on a rant of another rant, and just appreciate that whatever I said was upsetting for some people. And I'll continue to talk about that in a more tactful way, I hope. Anyway, so are you in a state of orange? And by the way, is your concern or fear a fact or a story? Are you just making it up? Okay, that's really important. You got to separate the two. So that's one technique. Second technique is called attack the dog. If you're afraid, go at it. So I have a young man I'm seeing who's socially shy, has some social anxiety, and he really is a nice-looking kid, but he's really afraid he'll be rejected by girls. So he just avoids girls. Or when he sees a girl at a party, he drinks 3 or 4 or 5 drinks, gets drunk, and then he talks, but then he turns the girl off because he's a drunk. So I said, let's do a technique called attack the dog. So he said, what do you mean? I said, just attack him? I said, no. What you're going to do is this. Attack the dog means have you fear or do it anyway. So here's a nice technique. Every time you pass a girl or a guy, just say, hi, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Or give a nice smile. Hey, how you doing? You don't have to say anything else. And we talked about some other techniques you could do to inquire and interview the girl and ask questions rather than just trying to figure out how to be brilliant. So that's called attack the dog. Take action even though you're afraid. But make sure the action is doable so you don't freeze. Another technique was called play the A game. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Acknowledge what's going on, take accountability for it, and then take action. And practice realistic optimism, which is face the problem, but keep a perspective that this too shall work out. So anyway, I think those were the ones I gave 2 weeks ago. This week ago, I gave these. Number 1 was, is this the hill you're going to die on? I have a client who has been home for 6 months because she's terrified of going out and getting sick and dying. So she's ruminating, obsessing, and just terrified. So, if she stays there, I don't think she's going to die, but man, oh man, I mean, you can take some precautions. There are safety precautions. CDC tells us to wear gloves, wear masks, obviously. You sterilize her, stay away from people 6 feet, 10 feet. There are things she could do rather than stay depressed and stay frozen at home. So is this the hill you're going to die on? Is this the fear that's going to just make your life miserable? Another one I talked about was follow the anxiety. So you want to notice the anxiety. What am I feeling? What triggered it? What actually happened? Can you feel it in your body? Locate it. Give it a rating, 1 to 10. 10 is really, really terrifying. Ask yourself, is it a fact or a story? If it's a story, your mind has now kidnapped you into a lot of anxiety and a lot of worry. So just follow the anxiety. Allows your thinking brain to observe your emotional brain back here, because your emotional brain is not very smart. It's just raw emotion: fear, anger, sadness, happiness. But if you're able to observe it, you get some intellectual control of it. Then maybe you can figure out what to do. Another technique was become the wizard. I like that one a lot. Become the wizard. Think of a time that you felt strong, effective, and in control, and kind of create it in your body. Breathe away, remember it, and then feel it in your body. Take the posture, and then imagine if you were to bring that way of feeling and thinking to the situation you're nervous about, like returning a phone call, a sales phone call, or talking to someone with whom you owe money, or you made a promise and didn't fulfill it. Feel that strength, and from that state, that's called being the wizard. Make the phone call. You'll feel a lot better rather than postponing it and waiting. Another one, I think that was the last one. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? So whenever I get to be a little too fearful, I say to myself, is this really me? I'm a grown man. There's no real danger. I'm just telling myself a story. Then I create a character. I say, okay, tell me what you're worried about. And usually it's a picture of an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 14-year-old smaller me, and telling me, don't do it. Don't take the chance. You're going to get hurt. Or I hear my mother's voice, because she was kind of a scaredy cat. So I say, okay, talk to me. Tell me what you're worried about. Oh, so you're concerned that I might get hurt. Well, thanks for caring. Let me tell you what I'm going to do, and maybe I can be your partner to help you stay calm as I take action. So are you talking to me is another way of, another tool for managing the fear. So next week on Monday, Mondays with Moss, I'm going to go over an executive review, an executive summary of the tools. I think there are about 8 or 9 tools I've talked about in controlling fear. Also want to let you know what tools have we covered so far in these talks over the last several months, and what tools have I not talked about yet. But I also want to give you the formula for success. I think it's time for me to lay out the success formula, the navigating for success formula for being able to design a great life and know how to take those remember Pareto's rules, taking those key actions that produce 80% of the results. So if you can stay focused on what are you passionate about, what are your key goals, because you got to set goals, and you have to then create actions to move you in that direction and be resilient. So I want to give you some examples based on myself, my life, my practice, my clients, and what they've done to really create extraordinary lives and be successful. So they can navigate, thrive, not just survive. Anyway, that's it from the Stoop. Stoop Talk with Moss. All right, guys, have a great week. Enjoy the day. It looks beautiful. I'm going to take a walk in a little bit and then get on my Zoom or my FaceTime to see my clients. All right, guys, be well. See you soon.